Welcome to today's video. Have you ever wondered what someone is really thinking or feeling, but can't quite put your finger on it? Do you struggle to understand the hidden messages behind people's words and actions? Well, you're in luck, because in this video, we'll be sharing 15 psychological tips that will help you read anyone instantly. From body language to tone of voice, we'll cover it all. So sit back, relax, and get ready to become a master at reading people. Relax your mind, and do not get carried away by prejudices. The first step in learning to read people is to maintain an open mind to take in all others are trying to tell us. This means that we shouldn't make snap judgments before fully understanding the individual or the circumstance they are facing. One of the biggest errors we make while attempting to understand the other is to make assumptions based on prior encounters. The best course of action is to always clear our minds and approach each new circumstance or conversation with objectivity to prevent misunderstandings. It is important to refrain from making assumptions of the kind, "My friend is upset," since whatever she says to you will subsequently be interpreted as being angry when, in reality, it is not. Learn to interpret others' eye contact. It may sound cliché, but our appearance is one of the characteristics that characterizes us most, for better or bad. Interpreting looks entails much more than simply believing that you are lying to us if you glance to the right and up. Isn't always like that. Someone who has problems looking you in the eye, looks away for instance, is typically feeling uneasy, bashful, or insecure and trying to defend themselves. Unfortunately, a person who never looks at you is not being completely truthful with you. So be on the lookout for these individuals. On the other hand, you may sense energy by the way someone appears. Have you ever felt tenderness when you looked at someone? Do you, on the other hand, experience apprehension or fear? Never underestimate the meaning a glance may communicate. Your instincts and this go hand in hand. Observe the posture of the body. Extra-linguistic aspects always reveal far more to us than words. And a person's stance throughout an engagement might reveal feelings or emotions that they are currently going through. For instance, if the lady you like is with you and she puts one hand on her chin as if tilting her face for you to admire, then she is flirting with you because she wants you to notice how beautiful she is. Conversely, if someone is at ease around you, they will unconsciously lean in your direction in search of intimacy. Another blatant indicator of attraction or like is proximity. On the other hand, if you see someone leaning backwards, it unmistakably conveys rejection, distance, and perhaps even the construction of an illogical wall separating them. Have you ever observed that certain persons have a propensity to often cross their arms or legs? Without hesitating, they implicitly convey a defensive, self-protective, or even, depending on the situation, angry attitude. Watch the way you walk. Have you ever noticed how certain people constantly carry themselves with confidence? They are creatures who have a lot of self-confidence, to be sure. They always walk with their faces toward the world and move quickly and deliberately. Who moves clumsily and slowly as they walk? This is a blatant indication of low self-worth or insecurity. Pay a little attention to it if you are a natural leader and you notice that one of your team members walks in this manner so that you can instill confidence and better initiatives are consolidated. Pay attention to certain facial expressions. We find it challenging to conceal facial expressions that convey our thoughts or feelings at any particular time. Words may be controlled, but gestures are nearly impossible. When someone grins in casual conversation and the crow's feet are visibly visible, it indicates that they are at ease, upbeat, or joyful. Therefore, if you see someone frowning, they can be upset. The emergence of expression lines along with this might show that the person is deeply contemplative or that something is worrying that person. When someone lifts their eyebrows and slightly opens their eyes, it may surely be an expression of surprise or astonishment. One may be questioning or wondering what is being stated to him if he or she arches and lifts one more than the other. This displays some skepticism, and when someone's lips are slightly puckered, it can also be a hint that they may be angry or bitter. Additionally, by seeing a person's clenched jaw and teeth grinding, we may determine how tense they are. A strong voice is always imposing. Shouting or raising your voice is one thing. Having a loud voice is quite another. People that possess it typically don't try to stand out by donning flashy attire or sitting in prominent positions at events. They only need to speak for their command commanding voice to become apparent. Strong voices are a sign of confidence and the ability to transfer that confidence to others. Pay attention to paralinguistic traits. Paralinguistic traits have to do with variations in speech, intonation, speed, throat clearing, and fluency. People who don't change their speech tone are allegedly more reserved and repetitive, boring. On the other hand, persons who are anxious often speak quickly and awkwardly. They can even spit out their lungs. Therefore, you know you're in the company of an extroverted person if they have a pleasant voice tone that ranges from low to high-pitched, are fluent, speak at a typical pace, respect the time of others' speech, and are full of self-confidence. Ask direct questions. This is a straightforward but valuable resource. Ask a direct question that demands a direct response to find out if someone is being direct. Do not interrupt the individual in question if they start to stray in this situation. Instead, make a point of watching their movements and way of looking. Asking direct inquiries as you gradually build up a person's profile might show you whether or not they are trustworthy. Observe the behavior of different people. You may determine whether properly understood. Several individuals share signals by carefully studying their behavior at the same time, or you can determine how adept you are at reading people. This turns into a type of practice so that you may gradually become more accurate in your assessments. By placing a TV interview on quiet mode and exercising as you watch it, pay close attention and attempt to decipher facial expressions, gestures, and glances. Play the interview once more, but this time with audio, and double-check your responses. Mentally record habitual behaviors. It builds up a type of database of people's typical habits. This will enable you to recognize when a behavior is unusual and could be having an impact on them. It is simpler to compare and predict how someone would respond to a circumstance using this mental record. Make comparisons of attitudes and responses. Compare how the same person acts and responds in various circumstances. In other words, you have documented their routines after enough time spent monitoring them. You may tell when someone is apprehensive, among other things, when he stops gazing into his eyes. For instance, if you hear someone clearing their throat in a situation when you need their complete support and you already know that apprehensive people tend to do so, it may be time to reevaluate certain decisions. Take note of gestures together. Several body language cues and postures that might reveal a person's attitudes have already been highlighted. However, it is usually advisable to avoid making assumptions based just on one or two gestures or behaviors. Try to pay close attention. You'll be more accurate if you consider each motion as its whole rather than individually. For instance, a single throat clearing won't always mean that someone is anxious, they may be unwell. However, you may tell that someone is anxious if their throat clearing is followed by an odd movement of their feet, legs, or even hands. Make room for a little conversation. Since they are in a routine scenario unaffected by their environment, a simple conversation at the bus stop can help you understand a person's true nature. When you want to know someone better, this is perfect. Therefore, take a few minutes to chat about anything. Pay close attention to the conduct and mentally note any intriguing actions for your study of reading people. As a result, you grow accustomed to it and can create a foundation from which to interpret it in different circumstances. Pay attention to the details of person's appearance. Although a person's appearance alone cannot fully convey who and how they are, there are specific traits or parts of their attire that can reveal, among other things, their personality, philosophy, belief system, and values. For instance, dressing in a particular style, like wearing jeans and a flannel, might convey a relaxed attitude. This is in contrast to the individuals we constantly see dressed nicely and casually, somehow projecting their presence and implying ambition in life. On the other hand, the use of amulets or crosses reveals a person's spirituality, beliefs, and outlook on life. Similarly, the fact that if someone has a tattoo, it demonstrates its tenacity and the significance that some things have in their life. Listen to your sixth sense. Our instincts or intuition will nearly never let us down, without a doubt. So pay close attention to how someone makes you feel or how they come across when you first meet them. This emotion comes over you far more quickly than you're first thinking. Keep in mind that because we are made of energy, we both emit and absorb it. You better pay attention to the comfort or discomfort a person may make you feel, because it is a certain way to tell if you can trust them. And that's a wrap on our video. We hope you found these tips helpful and informative. Remember, reading people is a skill that takes practice. So don't be discouraged if you don't get it right every time. Just keep practicing and you'll be a pro in no time. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more videos like this one.